And you're very welcome to Dublin for the Dublin Camogie team playing Offaly today in the Littlewoods Division 1 league game. Last week Dublin played Kilkenny and they lost by 5 points, but they're playing Offaly today. It's a must-win game for them. And Sheila Cotter was with me. Sheila, good afternoon to you, and you know these girls so well and you know what it means to Dublin today to try and get a result.
Absolutely, it's vital for them really today. After last week's performance, they put in a huge effort, and to come short there by 5 points against All-Ireland champions, it's probably It's good advancement, all right, but at the same time I'm sure Dublin were looking for the win, so today is really important. And
is it important how they play, or is it just a win?
I suppose with the new management coming in and they're putting their own stamp on it, the performance will be very important, but at the end of the day, getting the 2 points and getting that bit of confidence is absolutely paramount.
Okay, well, we'll do the teams in a minute. We'll go through the teams, but I'm just looking out now and feeling a bit of heat. I think I need to remove this body warmer because it's got warmer in the last 5 or 10 minutes. You'd love to be out there, I'm sure. These are perfect conditions.
It's lovely, yeah. Slight breeze cools you down. It's definitely warm. I wouldn't say it's too warm for me now, but absolutely die to get out there now today. It looks amazing. No rain so far, so hopefully that'll stay clear. And it should make for a really good game of camogie.
I'm told that the Vice Chair of Dublin Camogie, Carl O'Brien, was out at this pitch not just last night but at 6 o'clock this morning because they were lining it, getting it ready, and they have it in perfect condition. And they were here like the Dublin Camogie people for the last 2 or 3 hours, and they put so much preparation into it. You almost want them to win, but it's just Camogie wins if they put everything out in the right way, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and the presentation and everything. I actually heard he was out with the scissors there around the goal mouth. Faye might have given him a few quid, but look, it looks amazing. The grass is cut beautifully. Everything, it's perfect platform now for the Dubs to grind out the win.
I knew you'd mentioned goalkeepers at some stage, or goalmouths at some stage, a former goalkeeper, although you've been known to take a foray outfield as well in the past as well. So we'll come to that in a minute. We'll tell you what, we'll go through the teams and we'll start with the goalkeeper. So Dublin, obviously, Faye McCarthy in goals. I mean, she's a puck fata champion in Leinster. She's a goal machine as well, as we know, and she's a fabulous character as well. I mean, if you wanted anyone to take the mantle, surely it's her.
Absolutely, I love Faye to bits. She's absolutely sound. Her ability on the pitch, I was sorry she came along when she did, to be honest with you. Like, she knocked me off my pedestal anyway, fairly lively, but her influence on games is just, it has to be recognised. Her not just her puck, she's so accurate with the short ones as well, so steady under the high ball, and she reads the game so well. Like, so it's brilliant to have such a good goalkeeper commanding things at the back there.
Well, we're going to play a little video now, actually, from a couple of years ago now. Actually, 3 years ago, because of course she hasn't been around the last couple of years. She's back this year, which is great. But 3 years ago, there was a game at Parnell Park against Galway in the championship, and she scored a goal that day, and it dropped in. It was a long puck from outfield in her own half, but she scored 1-4 that day. So we'll have a little look at that video now, and then we'll talk more about Faye. Dublin's goalkeeper was their most potent threat in this game, scoring a goal from this and 4 more points to end the day as her team's top scorer. More importantly, Faye McCarthy gave the home side the perfect start at Parnell's and Coolock in the Liberty Insurance All-Ireland Senior Championship. Donoghue finished the day with a personal tally of 2-3. Her second goal followed good work by O'Reilly, but the superb finish was definitely all her own work. Worth seeing again, brilliant corner forward play and an unstoppable shot to the net. But there were plenty of positives, and they finished the way they started, with a score from their goalkeeper. That underlines her importance, and does she still take the frees? Does she still come out and get a few scores?
I'm not sure, but I firmly believe that she should. I mean, she's unerring. She's just so accurate, and you can even see by her style of free taking how actually relaxed she is as a person as well. It's all very calm and collected. She'll definitely tell you she meant that goal. She put a bit of top spin on it at the end there.
Well, no, she didn't get the points last week, so we will watch that today to see if she comes out to take them, because Aisling Maher scored 4 frees last week, so she's obviously taking them, or maybe they just didn't get any out far enough. But I'll go through the rest of the team then. At 2 you have Orla Gray, 3 Eve O'Brien, 4 Murren Kelleher, 5 Emma O'Byrne, who's actually the captain just for today, Grania Quinn at 6, Hannah Hegarty is 7, Emma Flanagan 8, Roisin Baker 9, Niamh Gannon 10, Jodie Couch is 11 and she's vice captain today. She's 19 years old and of course she's a twin of Gabby, and Aisling Maher is 12. 13 was to be Gabby Couch, but it's actually Aoife Whelan who's come in there wearing 19. Kerry Finnegan is 14 and Aoife Walsh was to be 15, but a late replacement there is Julia Buckley wearing I think 23. So that's the team that is going to line out. Tactically, how do you see that, particularly in the back line there?
No, it's very solid, a good mix of youth and experience there, in fairness. Hannah Hegarty is just monumental as a player. I've never seen anybody with such hunger and desire to stop forwards from playing, but also creating attacks for Dublin to set a platform to go forward. But I'd imagine it'll just be very, very, very tight. There might be a couple of man marking situations that we might see later. I'd imagine Murren might take up the role of taking Kilkenny, following around. Murren has a fantastic engine, plays midfield for Vincent's, so there's no stopping Murren's running, and she's very, very irritating if she's marking you. So she'll do a great job there. Well, I mean, it's just honest, you know what I mean. And then Eve and Faye have an unbelievable, I suppose, relationship as goalie and fullback, and there's a great understanding in there. So I think the back line is definitely in good hands, safe hands today.
And the spine of the team is experienced. I mean, there's so many young players, and even, you know, the girls coming in as well are young, and Jodie Couch is very young. You know, there's a lot of young girls, but you've Eve O'Brien's been around a while, Grania Quinn, as you say, Faye as well. So up that spine, they've got that right.
They really do. And Flano there, Emma Flanagan in midfield at Roisin Baker, I think that's a good partnership. Roisin Baker is, again, very dogged, very physical. She'll kind of do her best to break down the Offaly play, and then you'll see Emma coming in probably a little bit more skillful and great catch on her. So I think they'll probably work very well together today.
Roisin Baker, by the way, is just qualified as a doctor, so congratulations to her for that. On to the Offaly team. Maria Jennings in goals, 2 is Sarah Walsh, 3 Triana McDonald, 4 Lorraine Keena, 5 Amy Byrne, 6 Aisling Brennan, 7 Sharon Shanahan, 8 Roisin Egan, 9 Orla Kerwin, who's the captain, 10 Emma Mulrooney, 11 Grania Egan, 12 Grania Dolan, 13 Sarah Harding, 14 Kate Kenny, and 15 Siobhan Flannery. Do you know much about them? I mean, I know a couple of years ago Dublin actually beat Offaly in the championship, and you were telling me you played that day outfield.
I think I got the last 2 minutes in there. It was a nice gesture from David, but look, it was enjoyable and we ground out a win. We actually performed a lot better than Offaly on the day, but they definitely they snuck in a couple of goals against the run of play, and it didn't shine on the scoreboard. But if we were to play again like that, there's no doubt that there'd be a Dublin victory. I don't know an awful lot about them. We haven't played them since then, I don't think, possibly in a challenge match. So it will be very hard to gauge anything on 2018. Yeah,
they have a couple of young players in there. I mean, Sharon Shanahan at 7 is a joint minor captain from last year, and the other minor captain was Emma Mulrooney at 10. So they're obviously blood and new players as well in there. So we'll keep an eye on that. And they've Susan Erner managing them, the Galway All-Star from 2011, which is interesting to see. You don't see too many female managers, but well, I suppose there's 2 or 3 at the top level, but Susan's in there as well. She's looking after them, and they of course have to play Kilkenny next week, so this is their first game. Do you think maybe Dublin having an extra game might help them and give them a little bit of advantage there?
I would hope so, and they would have had that all-important first game under their belts and see what worked and what didn't work. Offaly coming in fresh will probably be expecting to get a win today and set themselves up for a humdinger there against Kilkenny next week. But for me, I think last week's match will be very important and will definitely stand to the Dubs.
What about the referee now? He's just blown his whistle out there to try and get the captains, and Owen Elliott from the All Saints Club in Ballymena, of course, did the All-Ireland final last year in Croke Park. Got the big gig last year. He's bringing in the captains, and indeed number 5 Emma O'Byrne is going out to take the toss for Dublin. So a proud day for Emma Byrne from the Good Counsel Club. She's only 5 minutes down the road from here, of course, and Drimna, the area very famous for Kevin Moran, who went on to play for Dublin in the 70s and then Manchester United and the Republic of Ireland. She's from good pedigree in that area, just 5 minutes down the road. And the captain of Offaly is out there as well, Orla Kerwin. But you know the referee, Owen Elliott, he likes to let the game flow, doesn't he? He
really does. As a player, I always enjoyed it when he was reffing. It just there was no silly frees being given, silly rules in Camogie, but he seems to play to his own tune, and not entirely obviously, but it flows a lot better, and he has a great reading of the game where somebody either means to do something or they don't, and that's the way I think camogie should be played as well. But as a ref, I always enjoyed when he ref games. Everybody might not agree with me on that one, but for me, I think it'll just be, as we said, like flowing and hopefully very high scoring game.
Yeah, it was a bit low scoring last week. I mean, Dublin only scored the 6 points and 4 of those were frees from Aisling Maher, but only 2 from play isn't great either. Now I know they're up against the All-Ireland champions, we're up against Kilkenny, to be fair, but they'll need to get more scores on the board. Maybe that's why they've made these 2 changes. What do you make of that? Aoife Whelan's in for Gabby Couch and Julia Buckley in for Aoife Walsh. Do you see anything into that, or they both came on last week?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I think giving somebody a debut is always important for the player, and it's a very proud moment and everything.
Yeah, sorry, I should have made that point. It's Aoife Whelan's debut.
It is, yeah. So they could be just maybe one eye on the championship and wanting to see how they perform at senior level. For me, Dublin scoring has always been a bit of an issue. We haven't really had that kind of Denise Gall or that marquee forward that you can rely on for 3 or 4 points a game from play, and we just haven't found that person yet, and we really do need it to even build around that player and get the support play right and everything. Like Kerry Finnegan could be there, she's a great hand on her. It's just there's a few little things, probably like pace of pass, the turn of pace she has, little things like that. But if the forwards were to be on fire today, I would lean towards a Dublin victory, because I think that the back line is absolutely immense.
Interesting. Well, as we look at the Dublin players in the huddle out there, and not quite a huddle yet, but they're out in a circle around the manager. Let's talk about the management. It's very interesting that they have sort of brought people in from all sorts of backgrounds. I mean, Adrian O'Sullivan's in as the manager. He's a Limerick man. He's been with UL. He's won a few Ashbourne Cups down there. You have Donny Fox, who was with Jude's when they won the senior championship here in Dublin last year, but he's actually a Galway man, and he's played for Galway and he's played for Dublin. Then you have Sarah O'Donovan, she's Cork and Dublin, she's played for both as well, so they've lots of different counties involved there. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but their new management in this year, what do you think they can bring to it?
I think it's a case of freshness. Like Donny's done incredible stuff with Jude's. Even the way they've changed their style of play in the last few years is phenomenal. And
really, in what way?
Just the support play is incredible. Their speed, their thought process, like they almost have the next pass going before they even have the ball in their hand. Like they know exactly what they're doing. They're tuned to an incredible kind of a status there, and it shows with 2 county championships out of 3 years. Like they probably had a bit of a blip there in 2019, I think it was. But
just explain that a wee bit more. When you say support play that he's brought in, what exactly is that? What does that transfer as?
It's just constant work rate. So you're delivering a ball into your half forward and you're following it straight up again. So that half forward gets bottled up and you're right there behind her to take the pass. And it just doesn't seem to break down. He has their skill set just has improved so much as well. So the passes aren't going astray, the catches aren't being dropped, the balls aren't being dropped. So I think he has brought a huge amount. And I've come across Adrian I was managing or selecting on the Maynooth camogie team, and he certainly knows the stuff. And of course, like Sarah's been around a while, let's say. She's quite experienced, and she has a great reading of the game as well. So I'd be excited for this managing team for sure.
And we're excited for the start of this game. It's Dublin against Offaly in the Littlewoods Division 1 in the sun here in South Dublin, and the referee Owen Elliott from the All Saints Club in Ballymena is getting ready to throw the ball in. He drops it in and we are off and running, and it immediately breaks from the midfielders, and it's a little bit messy around there. Somebody needs to get that ball up. The referee, as we know, he's got the whistle near his mouth, but he likes to let the game go, and the players like that. Get on with the game, but there is the first free of the game, and it has gone to Dublin. They are playing from left to right, and I wonder will they bring Aisling Maher back for this, or they're certainly not bringing the goalkeeper Faye McCarthy out for this one here. It's a free just in the middle of the field for Dublin in the first minute of the game, and I wonder will she look to drop it around the house or try and find one of the corner forwards, or maybe even try to get a score from all the way out there. and she hasn't got the distance certainly for a score, but it is around the danger area and it's batted down around the referee. He tries to get out of the way, and over on the far side from us here in O'Toole Park, that's a clearance by Aisling Brennan for Offaly, but it's going back straight away to Dublin, who fire it back to where it came from. As I say, beautiful conditions here. The sun has really come out and has got really warm in the last couple of minutes. And there's a ball whacked down to the right corner forward position, and it's Offaly now trying to get the first score of the game. That's a dangerous looking ball bouncing around where there's number 17 is in there. That's the substitute for Offaly, and there's a foul there just as a goal seemed to be opening up, but Caitlin O'Mara is in. She's 17 for Offaly, and she was causing a little bit of danger there in the corner. And Sheila Cotter is with me, and yeah, she looks a tiny little player in there, but she looks dangerous.
She looks dangerous, but Eve had her there. She read it very well and snuffed out the danger. But I'm surprised you didn't let that play go. I think Offaly were definitely in for a goal there. I'd probably be a bit aggrieved there if I was on the Offaly side.
I suppose in the first few minutes of the game you don't mind too much. If it had been the last few minutes you might have been very annoyed, but the first point is for Grania Egan, it is for Offaly, and they get the first score in this game. Now Faye McCarthy, known for her long puck, she goes to the right half forward position, and that was very accurate play, but unfortunately Aoife Whelan on her debut wasn't able to get the ball up, and it's Offaly on the attack again with Kate Kenny. And as Sheila predicted before the game, Maureen Kelleher is picking Kate Kenny up. That's the one-on-one there. And the referee is blown for another free, and it's a decision for Offaly again out in the middle of the field, and it'll be taken again by Grania Egan.
There's a physical one there from Grania. She probably went a bit high, and it certainly was quite dramatic there of a fall, but free nonetheless. So Grania Egan, 1 point already. Is she going to get a second? That looks accurate. It's certainly dangerous, and it's dropping just to the right and wide, so not quite the accuracy that I thought was there. Close, but not close enough, and the sun is over to our right, which means it's in Faye McCarthy's eyes, so Faye will have been pleased that just dropped wide instead of down around the house, because that would have been very tricky for her to find in the sun, and maybe that's why Grania Egan put it so high. Now the Offaly forwards getting out in front quite a lot in the first 3 or 4 minutes of this game, but as Sheila mentioned, the Dublin defence is very firm, and a little bit of soccer play there from Orla Gray, and they work the ball to Maureen Kelleher. She's wearing number 4, and she gets the ball and gets good distance on it, but doesn't get to a Dublin player, and it's Offaly. I think that's her number 2, Sarah Walsh, over there, coming out and going through a few tackles, but it's intercepted well by Aisling Maher, number 12, and she was on her left side, and that looked like a dangerous ball, but it was read well by the goalkeeper, who has been firmly challenged, and the referee has let that go. And the rules in Camogie, you can tackle the goalkeeper, she doesn't get too much protection. Is that the first score of the game for Dublin? And it is the first score of the game for Dublin. Good pressure on the goalkeeper, and it resulted in a point being taken by Aisling Maher. She was a top scorer last week with 4 points against Kilkenny, and she has scored again. Aisling Maher, the former All-Star from St Vincent's, so that's 2 points to 1, and Dublin on the board. They'll be relieved to get on the board, and that is a first point for them. It was great work right there from Aisling Maher. She seems to have a bit of a roaming role going on there, so she dropped back, intercepted the pass, and created the attack there with a decent ball in.
Yeah, she doesn't have anybody marking her. She's out in the middle of the field at the moment. Is it because they're employing a sweeper, or maybe her player has gone upfield? I don't know, but she's clear again, actually.
Absolutely, she's on her own, and if Dublin can utilise that, it'll be very dangerous.
Here she is, it's Maher again, and is she going to pop it over? She is. I wonder, is that a tactic, or is it just her marker just lost her for a minute? But we saw that happening.
I honestly think she has some kind of a roaming role there. She's moving all over the place around the half forward line. So maybe that's the idea, just to get the ball in quickly to the full forwards, but she's after getting 2 sublime scores there.
Yeah, if you're on the Offaly sideline, if you were Susan Erner, you might be looking at that and thinking we need to tighten up there. Now what it has done, it has meant that Dublin's tails are up now, And that's Niamh Gannon going through on a nice run as well. And this could break. There could even be a goal chance on here. No, it's well defended actually by Triana McDonald. But just for a moment there, it looked like Dublin were heading for goal. And after the first 2 or 3 minutes, when they were a bit slow out of the blocks, Dublin really seemed to be up for this. All of a sudden they're warming to this game, and I say warming because the sun is very strong here. It's very hot out there. It must be tough for the players out there, but Dublin seem to be getting into their rhythm. Sheila.
They definitely are. The balls going in are a bit better as well from the defenders, and defenders aren't under as much pressure now, I suppose. But there's great movement up there, great support play, but that final pass there just wasn't quite accurate enough, and it was fumbled, but otherwise there was definite goal chance on there.
And here's another chance to get the ball into the forwards, and that's a really nice accurate ball as well, and it's gone to Buckley, and Buckley shoots high, and it's just gone to the left and wide. But Julia Buckley, who was named to start just at the last minute this afternoon, she came in for Aoife Walsh, and she had a chance there, but she was well found and had a good effort without too much pressure being put on her. Maria Jennings, the goalkeeper for Offaly, gets it out around the halfway area, but Dublin winning a lot of the breaks now in the middle of the field, and that's a good sign for them, and that's well taken by Maher. She's really started the game well. She's had a brilliant last 2 or 3 minutes, and now she's going towards goal again, and she's trying to get a bit of room, and she's been blown, I think, for maybe trying to handle the ball twice.
She dropped the hurl there, so that's a new rule. Offaly were penalised there in the first few minutes, and it's difficult. It's very difficult. I was training up the club last night, and a few of us were still dropping hurls, so I mean, it's something you never would have coached anyway, to drop the hurl. Really, you don't really want to lose the hurl, but it's hard.
She was under a lot of pressure. Yeah. There was 3 or 4 players immediately got around her. We were saying she was in space, but now she's got a lot of company.
They've probably cottoned on to the threat she has, so they may have moved the sweeper up on her a little bit more, and maybe they might ease off the other players, but the runs there from Julia Buckley was brilliant to create the space to get the decent ball in then again from Grania.
Good even game here in the Littlewoods Division 1, as that one drops around the square and the goalkeeper comes out and gets to it, but for a moment it looked like a goal might be on, and it still might end up in the net. Everybody's in there and we can't even see where the ball is, but for a moment the corner forward, I think it seemed to get a hand on it, and eventually it's a free out, and relief for Dublin there at the end of that.
Absolute relief. It wasn't pretty, but the main thing is it's not in the back of the net. I think Faye did well there. She just stood her ground, she didn't go to ground, and the defenders did very well to get the boot in and just shunt it out there.
And Faye now will get a chance to put it up the field. Now, a few minutes ago she played a nice ball to the right half forward position. I wonder if she'd try that again, and I think she's looking for Aisling Maher. She seems to be the target, but it's broken instead for the Offaly defence to come out with it, and indeed they do, but a lot of pressure on them, and what it means is the ball is broken kindly, and it's Emma O'Byrne, the captain for today, and she goes determinedly through a few tackles and gets the ball up the field, and I think she's been given a free. The referee's going to bring it back for a free, because maybe he thought there wasn't much advantage there, but he spotted, was it a bit of chopping?
Yeah, classic Emma O'Byrne bursting through like that. Her strength is unbelievable on the ball coming into her. Definitely think there's probably a bit of a chop across the body there, and in fairness to Owen, he probably got the right decision there. Hopefully Flannell's stepping up to take this. Emma Flanagan's stepping up to take this. I'd imagine it'll go into the corner this time. I don't think Grania Quinn's first free was ideal. I think you're much better off hitting the corners. We have the pace up there.
Okay, so Emma Flanagan from the Lucan Sarsfield Club, and she does well to get it towards Maher, but she wasn't able to catch it. And a lot of players fumbling the ball in the first 5 or 6 minutes.
No, you kind of expect that with the rain, but I'm very surprised, especially with Ash. Like, she has a really good hand there, but just taking her eye off it at the last second, it tends to happen if it's kind of a simple ball coming at her, but she'll definitely be disappointed with that one.
So Offaly with a chance to relieve the pressure a little bit. Dublin have done really well after conceding the first couple of scores in this game. The referee trying to get the game moving here. He doesn't want any long stoppages. And that's being contested by 3 or 4 or 5 players in there. I wonder who's going to get it eventually. I thought for a moment there that Murren Callagher had got it, but she hasn't. She's come out the field following Kate Kenny. She's not staying in cornerback. We spotted that early on. But what it means though is that there's lots of room in the back line here for the captain Emma O'Byrne, but she's hooked there, and Emma seems to be playing as a sweeper in there, Sheila.
Yeah, it seems Kate Kenny has run out there. Murren's following her. It's given Emma a free roll back here. But the pressure the Dublin forwards are putting on their backs, they can't get a good delivery in.
And that's a poor ball because it's gone straight to Orla Kerwin, the Offaly captain, and look, she's put it straight into the danger area, and there's a goal chance on here, and I think the referee might be going to give a penalty. He has indeed, and the Offaly tactic has been to get that ball in quick, get it in high, and we knew there was danger there in the previous times, and there was danger again, and this time they have a penalty.
It's a pity. I'd nearly put money on it that she was going to hand pass that ball into the back of the net, which of course isn't legal anymore. So I don't know, it looked like she's checking up for that. She didn't. It was a great catch, and it's very hard to defend when a ball like that goes in and the full forward catches it. So I'm going to put my money on Faye to save this one though.
I was going to ask you that. You're a goalkeeper. You know Faye. How will she deal with this? It's a yellow card, by the way, there for the Dublin defender. I'm trying to see which defender it was. Was it 3? I think it was 3. Eve O'Brien, I think it was booked there. So here we go. It's a penalty. Grania Egan against Faye McCarthy from a penalty. Scores are level. A goal would obviously be crucial. There was only one goal in the game last week, Kilkenny against Dublin. Early on today, that's a superb strike, but she hasn't kept it low enough. She hasn't kept it accurately enough under the bar. She gets a point, but Dublin will be happy enough with that, just conceding a point.
Absolutely. You don't want to be conceding penalties, especially nowadays when there's only one on the line. But I reckon
she should have gone low, surely.
I would say, especially with somebody with Faye's height, I used to call her Stretch Armstrong. She'd reach ridiculous balls, but I'd definitely be going low against Faye for sure.
So just the point for Offaly, keeps it interesting. 3 points to 2. Could have been a lot worse from a Dublin point of view, but it does mean that Offaly sneak ahead, and it does also mean that they know that tactic works. And here's another tactic, because number 5 for Dublin, Emma Byrne, getting a lot of ball and getting it from the puck out there, and this now at the other end is Jodie Couch now. She's trying to get through and she gets a free, and she's vice captain today, so she is doing well for them. And let me give you a score check again. The score check is, do we have a scoreboard here? No, we don't have a scoreboard, but I think we have. Oh, it's over the far side. Oh yeah, that big thing. Yeah, it's 2 points all. Sorry, I thought Offaly had 2 points already, but no, it's 2 points also. Apologies for that, but we could now go to 3-2. And if we do, it'll be at the other end because Aisling Maher is there. But good work there by Jodie Couch.
Absolutely great puck out from Faye. She had a bad one just previous to that, so it was good recovery. Great hands by Emma, and super delivery in.
And that looks accurate. I'm worried it was just going to fade over to the left, and I use that term because it seems to be a pitch and putt golf course behind this venue here this afternoon, which you noticed on the way in, but it goes over the bar. That's the important thing, and it's 3 points to 2 now for Dublin, and they'll definitely take that after conceding a penalty. Oh, and that's good work again. Dublin getting stuck into this game, and good work by the captain for today, O'Byrne, and the challenges as they're firing in, and Dublin really have their tails up. But it's Offaly on the attack in the corner. The substitute there is dispossessed. That's good work again. Caitlin O'Mara was there, but Dublin have snuffed out that little bit of danger there. And this is good work by Aoife Whelan on her debut, and she gets her free. That's good determined play. And the Dubs really seem up for this, Sheila.
Very up for it. Very strong play there. Confident on the pick-up. Well worked by the defenders there again.
And look, players showing for it, players giving it quickly. That's all good stuff. This is Niamh Gannon now. She's from the senior champion St Jude's. They've 4 players on the team, but today it's all about Dublin. It's not about the club, but they're keen to get the ball moving. They're very enthusiastic about their play. You can see that. They're not hanging back. They're getting in there. They're not holding back, and they're all in support, and they just need to get a few scores on the board up there from a Dublin point of view, and that went all the way up to the full forward Kerry Finnegan, but it's dropped over the end line harmlessly enough, and it's Offaly's goalkeeper Maria Jennings now. And most of her puck outs have gone over to the right hand side, and that's where she goes again. But there's 2 Dublin players out there, and I think that's Grania Quinn out there, and Grania shows and uses all of her experience to turn and fire the ball back in to the Offaly half. And there's a heavy looking challenge there, and the referee lets that go, and it is Dublin who have profited from it. We did talk about Owen Elliott letting the game go and the way the players like that. That's Sarah Walsh, number 2 for Offaly, and she transfers the ball down to the left corner, and it's Caitlin O'Mara, number 17 for Offaly, dispossessed again, and Offaly seem to be trying to find her a lot, but Orla Gray is doing really well in that win there. She's a strong, corner back from Nafina, and that's a couple of times that she has dispossessed Orla Gray really well there with just a little flick of the ball and just read the game really well. But it's still Offaly, and that might break very kindly for them, and it has. That's been a little bit lucky, but they've fired it to the net, and that's a really well taken goal in the end by Gráinne Dolan. I don't think they made the goal in the way that they meant to make the goal, but they did, and it was fired to the net really well. Once you got a side of goal, you knew that was going to go in.
Absolutely, definitely. Like she was very alert to the breaking through there. Unlucky on Dublin's part, but what a finish! I mean, there was no stopping that, right into the side netting there.
I think it was 12, but was it 10 actually? Maybe Emma Mulrooney, I'm not quite sure. We'll have a look at that after, but it was definitely one of the wing forwards for Offaly, and it means that it's now 1-2 for Offaly and 3 points for Dublin. So we thought they might get a goal from a penalty. Instead, they've got a goal from play.
I was worrying, I am worrying about the amount of play and possession Dublin have, but they're not converting them into scores every time they go up. Whereas if you see down the other end, when Offaly do attack, they seem to be getting the scores, which is, again, I mean, the story of our lives in some respects. But for all that work rate and all that effort, and then to concede a goal, it's deflating, and I want to see now how Dublin respond to this.
It's Gráinne Egan with the free, just inside her own half, and this will be dangerous. I mentioned the sun being in the eyes of the Dublin goalkeeper, so she won't want to see this dropping just under the crossbar because it'll be hard to see. And that's really, really high. She's put so much height onto that, but I don't think it's accurate. It's going to the right and has gone harmlessly wide. And the referee is blowing for a water break, and it's probably come at just the right time for Dublin, Sheila.
Yeah, just to regroup there now, because it was a serious effort going in. Like, you saw the hits that were going in, the pressure they were putting the Offaly backs under, and really the last two scores that Offaly got, one of them was a hit and hope ball in that created the penalty. Now it was a great catch in the end, and definitely a penalty, and then the second one was just a bit of an unlucky breakthrough. So, like, I think the Offaly forwards are probably fresher now. They're not working as hard as the Dublin forwards are, yet they're ahead in the scoreboard. So it's very hard for a team to work so hard and then to be down by 2 points now. It's a bit of a sucker punch. So the water break is definitely a good time. Get a bit of Lucasade on board or whatever it is, and regroup.
But also mentally, just to say to them, you know, you're a young team here, you've been doing great, don't worry about that, but just you need to settle down a little bit here.
Absolutely, relax on the ball. Like, we've had a few drop catches now in the forward line, and that it breaks the attack down very, very quickly if you can't get it to hand. And if you do get it to hand, then you're absolutely on the front foot. So, like, it's just tiny little things like that they just really need to work on, and just to build on the scoreboard and keep plugging away.
Well, what can they do there? You were talking about that they're huffing and puffing a lot, but they're not getting the scores, whereas Offaly seem more direct. They're getting the ball in quickly. When Dublin have tried to get it in, there was a ball there and it just bounced over the end line. They're getting the ball around the middle of the field there. They've won a few frees going forward, but they're not really penetrating.
That's it. Well, initially I didn't think the balls going in were fantastic, but now that's been corrected a little bit, and the corner forwards are making decent runs out. Like we saw Julia Buckley there, very unlucky not to get a score. But that's what they need, more of that kind of timing the run better and a bit more communication. I mean there is an absolute mix of experience and younger players there, and the younger players no doubt want to put their mark on the game, but sometimes you're kind of getting in under somebody else's feet, and then perhaps the more experienced players may be holding on to it too long. Like, so Aisling Maher there, fantastically skillful player, but she's definitely slow to let the ball go at times. So we just a little bit quicker and a little bit cuter, I think, and we could get a few decent scores on the board.
So as it is, it's 1-2 to Offaly, 3 points for Dublin, and it's Faye McCarthy who will restart for us after the water break here at O'Toole Park in this Littlewoods Division 1 league game. The second game in the group. The first game was last week. Kilkenny beat Dublin. So this is Offaly's first outing, and that was a really good catch there by the number 10 Emma Mulrooney, and then she ran into a Dublin player but got up from it thankfully. But it means that Dublin now have the ball, and that's a super ball. We were talking about good ball into the forwards, that's what we wanted, and Kerry Finnegan is trying to get towards goal, but she has been forced backwards. But there's still a chance for Dublin that could sneak over the bar, but no, it's gone to the right and wide. But more promising signs for Dublin, Sheila?
Much better, much calmer as well, and great work rate. A fantastic catch there by Offaly, but surrounded immediately by 3 Dublin players who won it back and delivered a brilliant ball in to Kerry Finnegan. But this is what I'm talking about. We need to be getting those scores. The accuracy needs to be worked on there, and just build a bit of confidence, work it in, get your scoring range, know where you're going. Do you know, I suppose lack of inexperience on that occasion.
That was Hannah Hegarty with a great catch over on the far side there for Dublin, but it's gone a little bit scrappy now after that. But here we go, now Dublin have it, and that could be dangerous. That's gone into the danger area. I think the goalkeeper's favourite for it. The challenges go in, but she holds on to it, and Maria Jennings does well to clear her lines there. And you fancy that one of those breaks is going to fall to Dublin, and they could really do with getting a goal or so in there, and it would change the game. It would give them a little bit of confidence, but they just haven't got a break so far in this game, and they could have been further behind though, because the penalty, of course, now that's a ball in that's not really going to do any good. It's maybe they're just not in the same wavelength in there. They're not finding the forwards as well as they maybe should be. Around the middle of the field now, that's number 9, Orla Kerwin, the captain of Offaly. But Dublin reading that one well, as Sheila mentioned earlier. Their defence very, very good and very strong, and that's proven to be the case again. Good work by Emma Flanagan to Jodie Couch now, and now Jodie goes for a score, and that's what we want to see. The 19-year-old from St Oliver Plunkett's, she got 2 points from play last week against Kilkenny. She's the vice captain today, and she scored a great point there.
Much better from Dublin. A couple of really poor balls in there, one of them was in between 2 players. Perhaps you could argue that the Dublin work rate wasn't good enough, but Julie Buckley had made a run out and it went in behind her, and it seemed Kerry wasn't ready for it, and then Kerry Finnegan seemed to be a bit tired on the second delivery in. But to get a score like that, now that's really important after putting in the 2 poor balls earlier.
Julia Buckley now, and that's good work by Buckley. This is the good relaxed play that we like to see. That's good skill as well, and she considered her options and she's dispatched it now, and she's given it to Niamh Gannon, but that has dropped harmlessly into the goals. And we thought that Dublin were maybe going for a second point in a couple of minutes, but they just need to relax a little bit here and work it a little bit better. And this is good running by Mara again, but she's been blown for over carrying. So just when you do something good and you think they're going to lift it, they get pulled back again, and it's 1-2 to 5. So it's only 5-4, so no reason for panic. But there are opportunities out there for Dublin, and there are scores out there for them, and they definitely look capable if they just relax a little bit and take their scores.
That's it. I'd say there's a bit of frustration there from the other Dublin forwards. She had, I think, somebody on the left and the right there, but she chose to go herself. Clearly the wrong decision on this part, because she knew she was going to be hooked, so she had to too many steps, and definitely a free out.
It seems that Offaly haven't been in attack for quite a while, but that's a dangerous one, and it's deflected over the bar just when you thought it might drop into the goal. So good work there by Faye McCarthy to deflect it over, but it is still a point for Offaly, and it means they now restore their 2-point lead. And Faye read that well. Now the sun's coming from the other side, which is a little bit fortunate, but she gets a good long puck on that one, and again she goes for the right half forward position. Aisling Mara's there, she isn't able to get it, and it's Offaly who read it, and there was a foul there. The referee trying to give advantage. He'll bring it back because that is a free for a foul on Sarah Walsh, who is going through a lot of good work, and Offaly definitely not playing with her in the cornerback area, but she's playing really well for Offaly today, and it'll be a free for them just down on this sideline in front of us. And it is their vice captain today, Aisling Brennan, who will take it. Now if she lands this towards the square, it'll definitely mean that the sun will be in the eyes of the Dublin defenders. It will be hard to see from this angle. The sun right behind her, and indeed look at the height that she gets on that. That's a really, really dangerous one going into the square, but it bounces harmlessly wide from a Dublin point of view, and Offaly keep doing that, don't they?
I think the ref is overruling there. I think it hit a Dublin hurl on the way out there.
Yeah, Owen Elliott, good spot. Yeah, he's said that's a 70. Or is it a 65 these days? What do we call it these days?
I think it's a 45, is it?
Or 45, excuse me. Excuse me.
I think you're right, Jerome. I think Offaly are using the sun in a very clever way there. They're ballooning it up. It's very hard to keep sight of that ball, and sunspots start creeping in. You don't know what the ball is or the sunspot. So
Grania Egan will take this indeed from the 45, and this shouldn't be too much trouble for her. pops it over, and Offaly just seem to be getting their scores easier. That's 2 in a couple of minutes, and all of a sudden they're 3 points up again.
That's it. It just seems to be just easier. They don't seem to have to work as hard to get the scores. But in saying that, if Dublin had taken every opportunity they've gotten, we could be 4 or 5 points ahead. So the difference for me massively at the moment is that Offaly are just taking those scores and Dublin aren't.
Now, who's going to get this? So really good work by Sharon Shanahan to get the ball up, but she has actually been overturned by Aoife Whelan. Aoife Whelan doing really well to get the ball up into the forward area, and it's Niamh Gannon who's there, but she isn't able to get the ball up. The ball in the right area, but it's gone to Offaly and has gone over the end line, and that will be, or the sideline rather, and that will be a puck for Dublin.
It's a very important challenge there by Aisling Brennan on Niamh Gannon, because when she turns she has pace, and although the clearance wasn't amazing, it was enough to deny Dublin a goal scoring opportunity perhaps.
Now Aisling Maher will take this, and she gets good distance on it, maybe even too much distance. No, it's picked up really well in that danger area, and is that Grania Quinn all the way up there? No, it's not. It's Emma Flanagan in there, and there's a good ball over to the far side, and it's well picked up as well, caught, but it's blocked just when Dublin thought they might get through for a goal. That was really good defensive work, but it's not over yet. There's still another chance, and it's Gannon trying to get in there, but she's hooked, and Gannon just trying to get into this game. She hasn't really had a chance to really show what she can do in there, but Maher has put it back into the danger area, and that is a really dangerous one, and the goalkeeper gets it, and the goalkeeper watches it and clears. Really good work there by Mairead Jennings. Good pressure by Dublin, but no scores from it, but encouraging signs from a Dublin point of view, and they look like they just need an even break in there, but they're trying, they're huffing and puffing in there, and one of these days they're going to get a break.
That's it, one of them, but I've really been harping on about this for years, the high ball dropping in on the goalie. I just feel we're too slow in on her there now. You know, you put her under pressure, immediately that ball is anywhere near the square, you're kind of shuffling, just putting her off, getting in her vision, and anything can happen then, a drop, and all it needs is a flick then. But Dublin's work rate is absolutely brilliant. It's just so unfortunate that we're just not converting them into scores.
I don't know why I thought Grania Quinn was all the way up there. Actually, I thought it was number 6, but it was number 8 on the back. I should have known.
In fairness, Flano has a green helmet and Grania has a bit of green in hers. We'll forgive you this one.
No, it was just a 6 and the 8. Well, here is that a score from the green helmet, and it is indeed a great score from Emma Flanagan from Lucan Sarsfields, and that's what we need for Dublin. They've got another point back on the board, and that's the way to do it.
Absolutely brilliant. Found the space. She made the space for herself, I should say, but really it came from Hannah Hegarty's block there. Kind of decent delivery out from the keeper to the right half back, but Hannah, that's the type of player Hannah is. It doesn't matter where on the pitch. There was no real danger there, but there was no way she was going to get a clean strike at that. Hannah blocked her down, and then that led eventually to Flano getting a great score there.
Now, there's a little bit of an injury. I think she's okay. They did, as a precautionary measure, start warming up Aoife Walsh. She was named at 15 today, but didn't actually start. But they're warming her up, but she's definitely not needed just yet anyway as we approach half time. With 2 points between the teams. This is Hannah Hegarty, the aforementioned, from St Jude's. She was captain of Dublin last year. But it's Offaly in possession now around the middle of the park. And they get it again through their midfielder Kerwin, their captain, but that's good work in defence there by Kelleher. Roisin Kelleher doing really well. Hegarty again involved, and the defence doing well to get the ball into a position where they can get it up into the forwards. Now Niamh Gannon, what can Gannon do? From St Jude's on her right side, that's got lots of height as well, and it's beautifully put over the bar. She's shown glimpses of what she can do so far, but that now is the biggest example. Brilliant score for Dublin. They're right back in it at 1-4 to 6 points.
Absolutely beautiful, and the composure there in the back line just to give the correct pass out and again, and Grania's delivery, I thought she was going to get caught there, but in fairness, great delivery into Niamh and great confidence, especially after the last couple of balls that she's lost, so that's a great boost and score for Dublin.
Good work there by Emma O'Byrne there, coming in and saying I want to win that ball, and indeed she did win that ball. We thought Emma Flanagan was away with it, but the referee spotted an infringement in there, and it'll be a free to Offaly. And it's taken very, very quickly by Roisin Egan, and she goes down to the left corner forward position, and they're looking to get it to Kate Kenny, but it's well read by Muireann Kelleher, who's doing a woman marking job in there and doing very well.
Very well, yeah. She's read the ball very. Now I think shades of an Offaly sideline puck there, in my opinion, but she will take it. When it's given, we'll take it. But Muireann she's doing really well. But that's what I said, she'll stick like glue. Like, it's very frustrating to be on somebody like that who just doesn't let you play.
Roisin Baker there getting that from the free and the sideline ball and moving it up, and the decision's starting to go for Dublin now, and Niamh Gannon has won a free. That'll do her confidence even more good.
Definitely got a slap on the hand there when she's gone in to pick the ball up. And it seems like Offaly are aware of the threat that Niamh Gannon poses, and they've put Aisling Brennan on her. So, don't know, is Brennan maybe fatiguing and that caused the slap there, but we'll see what Aisling does with the free now.
We're right behind this one. We can see it. Oh, it's straight, it's accurate, it's over the bar. The teams are level. Brilliant point by Mar from St Vincent's. That's why she got an All-Star. That's why she got 4 points last week. She's got Dublin back into this.
It's an unreal point there from her, quite far out and straight over the black spot. But again, credit to Muireann Kelleher there for her work rate.
Oh, what a catch over there by Hannah Hegarty. She's done a few of those, and all of a sudden the Dublin tails are up. They've got 3 points in a row, Sheila, and you know you can almost will them over the line. You can almost feel if they get ahead here that they could even power further ahead. It's just trying to break a psychological barrier here, but they've got 3 great points in a row.
Huge, and that's what I'm talking. When they click, they really click. Do you know what I mean? So it's just disappointing, I suppose, from our point of view, watching all that hard work and it failing. So with getting 3 points in a row, and look at the work rate of the backs at the moment, it's absolutely phenomenal. Like, they're just not giving them a sniff.
Well, look how many blue shirts are back there. There's 5-2, and they're all rounding on the Offaly players, but they all know what they're doing in there, and they're working really hard to try and snuff out the challenge. And Offaly they've scored in spurts. You know, they haven't been up this area that often, and the referee has given a free in there, though. After all that huffing and puffing in there, it's a free to Offaly, and Grania Egan will have a chance to put Offaly back in front again. And we're coming up to half time, and that would give them a slight advantage. And it's just Offaly all through this game, just keeping ahead and no more, it seems, but Dublin keeping with them. So Egan, number 11, she's been very accurate so far. We expect her to get this. She's got plenty of height on it. And is it accurate though? No, it's not. It's wide. That's a bit of a let off for Dublin. It remains level scores. So Faye McCarthy now will go towards her cornerback. That's a little bit high for Orla Gray, and Orla's still trying to get it, and Orla does get the decision. She held her ground really well there, and now Orla will have the chance to clear the ball, and that she does. Smacks it up the field down the right hand side, and Maher is there, but it's broken kindly for Offaly. But the pressure immediately applied by the girls in blue, but Offaly managed to escape. Kerwin is there, but more pressure from the girls in blue. They're not giving up, and you can tell that they are really up for this game. A round of applause at half time. Of course, we don't have supporters here. We have plenty of people on the sideline, but not supporters, and if they were here, they would be enjoying this performance, especially the last 5 minutes or so for Dublin, because they really finished that half well. They finished it level, and Sheila Cotter, maybe it's a bad time for half time to come from a Dublin point of view.
It probably is, but the hunger is incredible, the work rate, and even just they're playing so well together, and they're communicating better now from even the first 5-10 minutes. So it's very kind of exciting performance for me to watch. 7 points, how many of them from frees today? Like, it's vast improvement on last week. I mean, I know they were playing against the All-Ireland champions and that, but it'll certainly give them confidence. And
well, I'd expect the second half. I think if I was playing in this sort of pitch in these conditions, I'd want to play the second half because the sun is behind me. You know, if you're a defender, you don't really want to play into that sun, so it might be Dublin's advantage in the second half, do you think? I mean, you'd know better than me.
I mean, there's no goalie in the world that wants to be standing looking at that sun, to be honest with you, but the wind is a bit of a funny one. It seems to be kind of swirly, so you might be against the sun and with the wind. I don't know, will that make much of a difference in the second half? If the Dublin girls keep working the way they're working, I just can't. And if they keep scoring like in the last, the 3 in a row that they got there, I can't see them losing it, but I'd always fear that like they switched off for the goal perhaps. Okay, a bit of unlucky, but just that tiny switch off, Offaly will punish. Whereas if Offaly do it, we don't seem to be punishing the same way.
I understand. I'm going to give you a break. You'll be glad to hear form here, and you've done a lot of talking. You've been great. Thanks very much, Sheila Cotter. But I'm going to break off for a minute here because I was looking back through the archives the other day, and I found 2012, and it was Dublin winning. The Irish Daily Stars was the sponsor in those days, the National League Division 4, so it was the Dublin Juniors, captained by Elaine Gallery, and Eve O'Brien, who's playing today, was playing junior back then, so that shows how she has come through the ranks. But I'm going to play you that little report that I did that day from a Dublin win at the Donaghmore Ashbourne pitch.
Carlow brought their lucky mascot to Donaghmore Ashbourne, hoping to repeat an earlier league victory over Dublin's junior side, but there was never going to be much in it, and so it proved, with a low-scoring first half where the teams cancelled one another out. The best score of the half came from the Dubs, when Jolene Horey and Eve O'Brien set up centre-half forward Carol Ann Canning, and her effort just dropped over the bar. At half-time, Carlow promised to pick it up in the second half, especially for captain Tara Wilson, who had to come off before the break. Her teammates gave it their all and stayed with Dublin. Number 6 centre-half back Emma Brennan firing this inspirational point, the score of the game, to ensure the contest went down to the wire. Emma's effort had been wind-assisted, the breeze picking up, but the Dubs dug deep and came up with the decisive score, the only goal of the game, Jolene Horey dropping it into the danger area and Laois Quinn on hand to lash it home. It finished 1-6 to 5 points for Dublin, a league title and a welcome boost for Camogie in the capital.
Yeah, long time now. It's 6 years since we brought home a bit of silverware, so it's brilliant. Long time winning the league, and the lads are delighted. I think, you know, a lot of hard work put in and good preparation this year, good organisation. So there's so much potential in Dublin. It's a matter of just getting them up along and, you know, getting out and competing and that. So it's great to bring home a bit of silverware, you know, for the younger girls as well.
Obviously, from Dublin's point of view, we're absolutely delighted. It's our first National League win at any level in many years. We have a good squad of girls. We've worked hard with them. We're absolutely delighted. It was a fantastic competition. There's no doubt Dublin Camogie needs a lift. We've been doing a lot at club level. At county level, we've been in the Doldrums for the last number of years. We have a team playing in Division 1 and competing well after maybe a bad shaky year last year. So we're hoping that this, which is largely a development squad, will give a boost to Dublin Camogie in general. And, you know, there are clubs out there that are doing a lot of work, and we want to look to the clubs and bring players on and develop them, and that's what we're doing, and we're delighted. So we have no doubt this will give Dublin a lift.
The Dublin men's footballers have done well recently. The Dublin ladies footballers have even done well the last couple of years. Camogie now? Yeah,
Camogie should be our turn, I think, coming up in the ranks soon now, yeah. So it's a great foundation to have a league title under our belts now, and going on to championship it's a great boost for us, you know.
And just finally, lifting the cup, special moment for you?
Yeah, very special moment, yeah. It's my first time being a captain of a team where we've, you know, won a bit of silverware, and it's just very special, yeah. Thinking about it all week, and, you know, the nerves kicking in and that, but it's great to have it over and done with now and have a cup to bring home, you know, so delighted, absolutely delighted, yeah.
Bit of a blast from the past there for Dublin, going really well in the National League 8-9 years ago. They're intermediate now, of course, and they're playing today, and we're going to cover their game next week against Meath. But for now, we're watching the seniors here level at half-time, and I have Ali Maguire with me. Ali, what do you think of the first half?
Yeah, I suppose we were a little bit slow to start, and we kind of crawled our way back into it. I think we kind of lacked a little bit of composure maybe in the forwards, but we kind of gathered a little bit of momentum there in the second quarter. So yeah, if we can continue on that for the second half, hopefully.
Yeah, composure in the forwards is what we're hoping for, and it came good. They scored the last 3 points in a row. They just needed to relax a little bit, and they just relaxed, and all of a sudden they got their scores.
Yeah,
the potential's there. I mean, they seem to have the ability.
Yeah, I think in the Offaly forward line, I think there's an awful lot of space for them there. I think in our forward line it's a little bit crowded. So hopefully in the second half, if we can kind of create that space a little bit and have a little bit more composure, hopefully we'll be knocking over the scores. And I suppose we conceded a little bit of a soft goal, and we potentially had some more opportunities for goals ourselves. So yeah, if we can kind of cut out our defensive errors and we can kind of, I suppose, get more scores on the board, we'll hopefully get over the line.
It's interesting, I saw a quote from during the weekend. It was the manager of Dublin, Adrian O'Sullivan, and he said it's the biggest job in Camogie. He's come in as charge of Dublin. Can you explain what he means by that on the evidence of today, for example?
I suppose it's just Dublin GAA in general. We're looking at the Dublin ladies footballers and the lads footballers and the hurlers and stuff, and we want to be up at that level as well, winning All Ireland. So no, 100%, you know, it's one of the biggest gigs in Camogie, and I suppose it's up to the players ourselves to go out and perform and show that we are capable of getting to that level and winning All Ireland. But yeah, so it's starting today, and you know, the girls have a lot more in them. I think there's a lot more in the tank there, and
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's what I think. They could just sneak ahead. You feel as if their tails would really be up, because anytime they get a few scores, you can see them.
Yeah,
getting faster.
The intensity as well. Could be improved as well. So hopefully now, kind of, you know, at the half time, they've said their few words and they're going in now for the second half.
Well, they're out already. I mean, what does that say to you as a
so
player? Why are they out?
Yeah, all the talking has been done. It's now up to them to go out and.
Is that a sort of a team management thing where you say, you work it out yourselves, we don't need to tell you, you get out there, we don't need to take every minute to give you loads of instructions, you get out and you do it?
Yeah, a lot of it is like player led as well. It's up to the players, like at the end of the day they're the ones that go out onto the pitch, and it's up to us as players and players who are playing to work out where they're gone right and where they're gone wrong and what they can do to improve. So yeah, the lads probably had a couple of words for them, and you know, we've an awful lot of leaders in the team there, so they would have said their few words and yeah, get out and add it for the second half.
I was just saying at the end of the first half there to Sheila that the sun, it's way up behind you on the right, so it's on the right going down towards the goals where Dublin will be shooting into in the second half. Is that the way you'd want to be playing? You know, move the ball and get it down there, make it difficult for the defence?
Make it difficult, absolutely, yeah. Get it in, you know, quick ball, that's what we're about. You know, if we can get it in quick, and you know, we've Kerry Finnegan, obviously she's in full forward there. If we can get the ball into her, she's well capable of doing damage. And obviously, you know, the sun will be in the goalie's eyes there. So if we can get kind of the ball into her, hopefully we can kind of reap the reward of that.
And looking around the forward line, I mean, they made 2 late changes, lots of young players involved out there, and you just feel that a win would do them so much good if they could just get over the line. But when young players come in, sometimes they don't really impose themselves, and they don't really feel that it's almost like they need something to lift them and get them really, they're holding back a little bit. You feel Dublin are a little bit like that? We're
holding back a little bit, yeah. Like I said earlier, you know, there's a huge amount of potential on this team, and we're holding back a little bit. We're kind of playing within ourselves, but hopefully now we've kind of had the first 30 minutes to kind of settle ourselves, and you know, you'll see the true colours showing now in the second half. Well,
there's a referee out there, Owen Elliott, and he's calling. Well, he doesn't have to call both teams in because Dublin have been out there ready for a few minutes.
Ready but for action already.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the way you want to be, and really looking forward to the second half. What do you think's going to happen? I'm going to put you on the spot here. What way do you think this? What way do you see this going?
I'm going to go for a Dublin win,
but
surprise there. No, but I do think there's a lot more in us, and if we can just settle quicker in this second half and have more composure, get the scores on the board, and hopefully, we'll get the win.
Brilliant. Well, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to substitute you for the start of the second half.
That's all right. I want to be on the pitch.
We're going to bring Sheila back in there, and Sheila's having a chat with some of the subs over there, but we're going to bring her back in. So thanks very much for that.
No bother at all.
Ali,
thanks very much.
Sheila, coming back in.
No, Sheila.
She's used to coming in as a substitute, you know. And,
right. Thanks anyway.
We even play her outfield, but here we go, start of the second half. Owen Elliott drops the ball in, and it's Dublin right on it very quickly there with their midfielder, Roisin Baker. But she's been surrounded and she's been dispossessed, but they're all getting tore in. Very interesting, this game, because it's on a knife edge. It's level. It's 7 points for Dublin, and it's 1-4 for Offaly. They got that one goal that made such a difference, but look at it one way. Dublin have had more scores. Oh, and I thought there was advantage there for Dublin, and it looked like Roisin Baker was away, but the referee has brought it back for a foul on Hannah Hegarty. And Sheila, I think I might have wanted the advantage there.
Yes, but in fairness, Owen was keeping an eye on it, and he was keeping a sharp eye on Hannah there. He knew the foul was coming, I think, and in fairness probably blew it out looking up. So
I mentioned the sun. This is a perfect example of where the sun. Now, if Aisling Maher can drop this around the house, this could be very, very interesting, but there's a lot of Offaly players in there. There it goes. It looks accurate, it looks dangerous, and that will be a tough one. Oh, and it's just dropped to the side and wide. It got through all the way, but just to the wrong side. That could have been a goal.
That's the rub of the green we just don't get, I have to say. Yeah, if it was accurate, it could have definitely ended up there in the back of the net. But sure,
fine margins.
It looks like the wind has picked up in Dublin's favour as well.
Okay, it's all set for an exciting second half. This is really good stuff here, and the sun is out as well. Where would you want to be? And after the lockdown, isn't it all fantastic to be here? And it's the Dubs with their tails up, they're level, but they're trying to go ahead if they could just get a break. And the ball bobbling around in there, and nobody can quite pick up the slither. They're all trying to get it. Number 23, Julia Buckley, is there, but it's Offaly eventually who come out. But there's still a chance here, and this time it's Emma Flanagan, number 8. Now, could this be Dublin into the lead? It's Niamh Gannon, and she puts Dublin into the lead. A super score. She comes from St Jude's. They're the champions, and that was a point from a champion. Dublin in front.
Unbelievable point there. Unbelievable work rate from the Dublin forwards, putting that much pressure on her. She just had to hand pass to no one. Flano picked it up, and again, I'm just blown away by the unity Dublin have today. I haven't seen anything like it in a good few years.
Well, you talked about the manager, Donny Fox, coming from St Jude's, and that's the sort of game they play, the high pressure game, and that seems to have transferred onto this team.
Absolutely. It's just unfortunate. Earlier there was definite goal opportunity, but the ball skidded away from Kerry Finnegan there. Like, it's little things like that I think maybe Dublin need to work on, just that keeping that concentration until the ball is actually in hand.
Now, I've talked about Dublin getting ahead. They're ahead by a point. If they can get another one here and just sneak ahead, you just feel there's so much more in them.
Absolutely, and the confidence it'll give them, and you know, they're playing with a great flow and playing with a bit of abandon in there. People are like showing their skills. Aoife coming in there is doing really well.
Hold on, that looks dangerous. That might have, yeah, it's got the legs, it's gone over the bar. Sorry to interrupt you, but that was a nice point. I'd have thought for a moment it might be dropping around the goal area, but it's a point. Dublin 2 up all of a sudden. I'll bring you back into a second, because here's an interception by Julia Buckley from the puck out, and there could even be more profit here for Dublin. And could it be a third point in a row at the start of the second half? And it is. It's a brilliant score from Jodie Couch, the vice captain today, and all of a sudden Dublin are 3 up. They got the last 3 in the first half, I think, as well. So that's 6 points in a row for Dublin.
Incredible. If that's the way it's going to go, Jerome, you can keep on interrupting me all you like. I was just actually saying what an impact the 2 players that came in at the start have made, and that's Julie Buckley just made that. Read the puck out beautifully, took control, great hand pass, and created a gorgeous score there for Dublin.
And Aoife Whelan making her debut on the other side.
That's it, and her work rate is definitely not to be questioned today, so she's doing really well.
Really good catch there by Roisin Egan for Offaly to relieve the pressure, and they get a free out of it, and Offaly will be really relieved to get that, because they must be wondering what hit them at the start of the second half, because it's all of a sudden Dublin 10 points and Offaly 1-4, and they might get a score from this.
Even just a break in the play will help them there as well.
Yeah, to stop the Dublin momentum, and I don't think that's got the accuracy. That looks to be going to the right. In fact, it hasn't got the distance either, because it's dropped short, but there is still danger here for Dublin, and it's Sarah Harding in there, and she has got a free. She tried to get through, and her route to goal was blocked, and the referee is pointing to his shoulder and saying that was illegal, so this could be a point back for Offaly. But what a start to the second half, an absolute blitz there from Dublin to go 3 up, and it's now Offaly's chance here to get one back through Grania Egan, and we know she's fairly accurate, and there's a hold up here because the referee is speaking to one of the Dublin players. I'm not sure who that is.
Orla Gray.
That's Orla Gray, cornerback from Nafina, and indeed she gets a yellow card.
I was worried there that she had gotten the yellow card in the first half, but it wasn't.
No, I think that was Eva Bryan got the yellow in the first half. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it was her. But yeah, we're keeping 15 players on the pitch, and it's back now to a 2-point game. Dublin 10 points, Offaly 1-5.
It must have been some hit there. Orla Gray had to change her hurl after that one, so I think Owen Elliott probably got that right.
Wow. So the puck out is from Faye McCarthy, and it drops around the middle of the field just in front of us here, and Niamh Gannon is trying to get on that. We thought she had it, but it was stolen from her. It was pinched from her there very cleverly by Aisling Brennan. But look at the pressure from Dublin players. They're really getting tore in there, and they are trying to get the slither back to them, and the referee watching this closely. Oh, and there's a challenge there from Jodie Couch. Although Jodie will say, well, she ran straight into me, but either way, it's a free for Aisling Brennan. She tries to take it quickly. Referee will hold up the play. What was all that about, Sheila?
I thought Jodie stood her ground. Both her hands are out. She didn't try and wrap it. I think
Well, whatever happened, he's just
sure.
throwing the ball in again, and he's throwing it straight to a Dublin player, and it's Jodie Couch. And Jodie says thanks very much, but she's blocked down. And all of a sudden, the game has certainly risen a little bit in tempo, and there's a great run by Gráinne Dolan for Offaly. The game is in the melting pot, and it's been put up to Offaly, and let's see how they respond. Oh, that's really good play actually by Amy Byrne, the number 5 for Offaly. That's good determined play. There's a good response from Offaly, but Dublin are looking to weather the storm. And Hannah Hegarty gets it, and she fires it into the other half, and that's brilliantly taken. That's a super catch here, and there could be a score here for Niamh Gannon. And Niamh goes towards goal and shoots low and shoots to the net. And Niamh Gannon has really come into her own before half-time, and after half-time she has taken this game by the scruff of the neck. And what a brilliant goal there, and that means that Dublin are now well in front. A brilliant, brilliant goal by Niamh Gannon.
Unreal, but again, just before that, Hannah Hegarty had chased and looked like she had lost her player, but just got that touch in and then created a lovely ball into Niamh Gannon. Great team spirit there, but of course they play with Jude, so they have that communication. But unbelievable finish there from Niamh Gannon. Brilliant score.
We've seen Hannah Hegarty make some brilliant catches, and it's ended up with a brilliant point. Oh, that's a fabulous score. Kerry Finnegan. Would you believe, I heard before the game, she's called Kerry Finnegan, but her second name is Gold, and that was a golden point. She's Kerry Gold.
That's going to do her confidence a world of good there. Things haven't been falling for her, but now that she has that, and quite a sublime score, it has to be said, that's definitely going to give her a bit of a lift.
I can't believe her parents called her Kerry Gold.
I think they got to be mocking, right?
And
she plays for Fogs though, and they're green and yellow, so
well, maybe there must be a Kerry background there.
People.
Yeah, that might be the explanation. Yeah, but certainly that was a fabulous point. But it all came from Hannah Hegarty's catch. She's made 3 of those at least in the game so far, and it's so inspiring for a team to see a catch. I was talking in the first half about a lot of balls being spilled, but she has really defied that.
Absolutely solid as a rock there, but she just reads the game so well. She's always in the right spot. Like, there was no Offaly player around her there when that delivery came. I don't know what that says about the Offaly backline or the pressures the Dublin forwards are putting on them, but it was a hit and hope, and of course Hannah Hegarty is going to be there because she just reads the game so well.
She does, but the point as well showed that what I was saying earlier, when Dublin get ahead, they're playing with confidence, they're showing the skill that's so obviously there, but this is Offaly now trying to hit back. That's a dangerous ball in there that could go anywhere, it could be flicked anywhere. Oh, and it's ended up in the net, just exactly what I was saying, and Offaly strike back with their second goal off the game, and it looked like a lot of Dublin defenders went for the ball, went to the ball, and then it spilled to an Offaly player.
Yeah, poor communication there, definitely. Faye won't be happy with that one. Happy with her backs at all. Too many of them went up for the ball there, and nobody alert enough to get the flick out of danger.
Oh, what a catch! That's
there.
Absolutely superb from Jodie Couch, the 19-year-old. She's got 2 sisters in the subs today, a twin sister and another sister, Zodi, and Gabby's there, and she has started that move, and really that was the inspiration for that score that was finished by Aisling Maher, but it was all about the catch from Couch.
Brilliant, absolutely. She's really come into her own there in the second half. She's creating stuff, she's breaking down Offaly attacks, and that catch was unbelievable, and kept her composure then to give a really decent ball back to Flano.
You'd be worried from a Dublin point of view that the goal, would knock them back a little bit, but what a brilliant response from Dublin there. It hasn't rocked them at all, and you'd be thinking, could they just hold their lead for a while? Well, they have the lead now. It's 112 to 2-5, so that's 15 plays 11. So they have a 4-point lead, but more importantly, they're playing really well. They're playing with confidence, and they're going for their scores. They feel as if they can score from nearly anywhere. Now that one has gone wide, but they're playing with their tails up.
Absolutely. I reckon Ash could have given that on another one. The Offaly player was coming at her. I think one more pass there and it would have been a definite score. But look, the bounce back there from the goal is definitely it's a new dimension the lads have brought to the game. Very often a goal like that would have been a sucker punch for us and we would have taken the foot off the pedal, but an unbelievable response there from Dublin.
Just to say, if people want to comment on the game and they want to get a comment through to us that we can read out, you can use the live chat area on YouTube there. I'm sure you can find it there on the page, and just leave a message there and we'll get them, and we'll try to read them out in the second half or at the end of the match, and we'll even take your contenders for player of the match, which we'll pick at the end. Well, Sheila will pick it, I'll prompt her, but she'll pick it, she's the expert. Now back to the game though, and Dublin pressing again and maybe looking to get another score and to go 5 ahead at that end. And it's Julia Buckley in there, who Sheila has picked out as being one of the good performers in this game, but there's been so many good performers for Dublin that it will be difficult to pick a player of the match. More importantly, they just want to win the match. It's Dublin 1-12 and it's Offaly 2-5. It's a super game. We're really enjoying this in the sunshine here in O'Toole Park in Dublin. Last week it was 1-8 to 6 points, a bit low scoring. Plenty of scores this week and plenty of really good skills on display, and both teams playing really well, and this will bring both teams on really well, because it's given them a lot of confidence. They're getting a good outing, good conditions, and they're being allowed to play, and the referee is playing his part, he's letting it go, and both teams are going at it, and it's a really good spectacle.
It's brilliant. We were talking about this earlier, when you have a ref that's stickler for the rules, it's just stop starting all the time, and there tends to be more rucks and there tends to be more stoppages, obviously more stoppages, but this is just flowing the whole time, and it's actually to Dublin's advantage, I think, because of the work rate they've put into it. They're reaping the rewards now in the second half.
Yeah, throughout most of the half, just to remind people if they weren't watching, Offaly were ahead, I think, for almost all of the first half, and Dublin in the last 5 minutes scored 3 points in a row, came out and scored 3 points in a row again, and a goal, and that's why they lead at the moment. But it's a really good contest, and it's really, to use a cliche, it is in the mix, and it's Offaly coming forward now. That's really good skillful play, I think, from Aisling Brennan, their vice captain, and the referee is going to bring it back for a free, and Dublin will be happy enough with that, because it looked like a goal might be in the offing there, and they've already conceded 2. They don't want to concede another. They want to try and hold this lead for the next 5 minutes or so. Are we on a water break? No, we're not. I thought we were there for a second, but no, the free is going to be taken, and Dublin looking at bringing on a sub, and it's number 24. Well, it's supposed to be 24 in my book, but 24 was Julia Buckley, so I've got that wrong, but it's Laura Quinn from Lucan Sarsfields.
I'm going to show my age now, Jerome, and I actually played Dublin football with Laura Quinn's mother. Would you believe? Wow. Jackie, yeah, many moons ago. So it's great to see Laura.
What was their mother's name?
Jackie.
Jackie Quinn.
Jackie, great crack. There was some good stories to be told from those times.
But not now.
But I haven't seen her in a long time. I only saw her there in Lucan the other day, and she was like, "You're still playing," and I was like, "This is bad. I'm playing against your daughter nowadays." But fair play to Laura, and she is going to definitely be a threat in there.
And she comes on for Julia Buckley. So Julia Buckley has come off after playing really well, starting this game wearing 23, but she played really well. So Laura Quinn in for Dublin. That's the first substitution for them. Now Offaly breaking from the back, carrying the slither forward, and this is better from them, and this is one of their substitutes. This is 23, and that's Orla Marr, and the referee has spotted a foul in there, and that'll be a chance for Offaly to get a score on the board, another score on the board. It's 1-12 to 2-6, so there's 3 in it now, and Offaly creeping back into this game, and we look like we are going to be in for a grandstand finish.
No doubt, yeah. It's Dublin need to get the foot back in the pedal here, but Offaly, in fairness, have responded very well. They didn't crumble when Dublin got that good run there, but they got the goal there to bring them right back into it. But the last couple of frees now have really brought them back.
And that's a let off, because that has gone well to the right and wide. I thought that was going to go straight over, because we were right behind it, and we saw one from there in the first half that went straight over the black spot, but that goes wide. And we've still got a 3-point game. Oh, that's a dangerous one from the goalkeeper. It's been intercepted by Kate Kenny, the number 14. You could see her reading that and pouncing on it. She gets the ball. Oh, that's a fabulous block in there. Roisin Kelleher was involved, and Gráinne Quinn was involved in there. And between them, they got in there and blocked. That's a super bit of play there, and that's exactly what Dublin needed at this point.
It's brilliant. And what impressed me there was something I suppose I haven't seen too often with Dublin was a puck out like that from Faye. You're nearly hoping the Offaly player would miss it, and in days gone by we would have waited for that, but the minute the puck came and there was a sniff of danger, Gráinne was right up on the Offaly player, and in fairness to Dublin, there unbelievable work rate and hunger. Really,
it was actually the 2 St Vincent's girls, Kelleher and Quinn. They're both from the same club. The 2 of them got in on her.
Yeah. I won't be big and Vince's up too much now,
I wasn't expecting you to. I was just making the point they're both in the same club. Now
no.
Faye there came out to take that one, but it's gone over the end line, so it's Offaly again. And Dublin have sort of lost their momentum a wee bit, and that's what you call a water break, coming at the right time. They can bring them in again. As we were saying in the first half, it was a chance for the management to just settle them down a little bit, but the management must be delighted with the way they've applied themselves in the second half, and they've gone ahead and they took a 3-point lead in the first couple of minutes, and they still have that 3-point lead, so they're in a good place at the minute. And now I guess it's all about composure.
It absolutely is, but it's not slipping away. Like even just that example there with Murren and Grania coming together to block them, they just often aren't getting anything easy now. Dublin just aren't letting it happen, and you can see even by their body language running in there, they're not just jogging in, like they were sprinting in there to get in for the team chat, and you know, the shoulders are back and chests are out, and it's you can see a bit of pride creeping back in, and it's really, really good to see, a really, really positive performance.
It is indeed, and you could just see that if you could get over the line, it would do them so much good, because a lot of young players out there now. The manager has had a word with his selectors out there, and now he's bringing them in. These water breaks are supposed to be for water, but they end up being a little chance for a chat as well, so he can get an important message over to them. And what do you think that Adrian O'Sullivan is saying to them out there now?
I'd imagine it's all about composure now, and keeping that work rate going, keeping them under pressure. And there was one play there where we probably overcarried a little bit rather than giving the pass off, so a bit quicker on the pass perhaps in the forward line. And if we just keep the ball down in this half, it absolutely diminishes Offaly's chances of scoring. So I'd imagine that'd be the idea, is just keep it up there with the forwards and let them do the work.
So if you have another puck out as a goalkeeper, would you be going short, or would you be going, you know, especially after that last one was intercepted, would you be going like get the ball in the other half?
I think with the performance the forwards have given today, I'd definitely be going long and putting my money on banking on them winning the break or winning the catch. There's been a couple of maiden catches in there today, so I'd imagine Faye will go long now from now on, I'd hope, anyway.
We'll restart over on the far side with the sideline ball for Offaly, and it's Sharon Shanahan, their joint minor captain from last year, so she's only 19. Owen Elliott, the referee from County Antrim, restarts the game. So we're into the last quarter of this game, and it's really well balanced. It's in a fascinating place at the moment, because Offaly are 3 down, they're on the attack, and it's a game that has ebbed and flowed and has been really, really interesting, and both teams really, really want it. There's a lot of skill out there, but Offaly going through here and trying to get a goal. Oh, a soccer pass there, and this could be a goal, and it's finished to the net by Grania Egan, their 3rd goal of the game. A soccer pass, really created it, that made it, and then the finish was easy for Egan, and all of a sudden the scores are level just after the water break. We have game on.
After all my positive talk, I feel like Dublin went to sleep a little bit there. I think they were hoping for a free. It never came, and it was badly punished.
They'll be so disappointed at conceding 3 goals, and they'll be disappointed that that puck out has gone straight to Emma Mulrooney, and she has not really been challenged. She is being challenged now though, and Dublin are getting tore in, but let's see how they respond, the Dubs, to that, because they've had a good lead, they've been well ahead, they've been pegged right back, and it's really been put up to them now, and they have to respond. And it's number 11 there, Jodie Couch. That's what you call a response. That's brilliant from the young girl from the St Oliver Plunkett's club. Only 19, and showing leadership there, and showing heart and showing courage out in the field, and taking the tackles and storming her way through them. That's brilliant play. And now what can the Dubs do though? They seem to be second to a lot of the balls over on that far side. It's Offaly getting possession again. Their tails are up now. They've got back level, and they're playing with a bit of swagger and a bit of confidence now. Here come Offaly, but there's a swipe that's in there, and that's a free, which will hold them up, but only for a second. It's a free which will be taken by Orla Kerwin, their captain. So the pressure all going from left to right. It's all Offaly at the minute, and Dublin really are struggling. I wonder, will they look to bring on a sub or two in the next few minutes? And just as I say that, I hear the manager actually calling for one of the players to try and bring them in, as the slither is down in the danger area, but it's batted down, and that's good work by Dublin, all getting to the loose ball and trying to get rid of it, but it's still up for grabs, or down for grabs. It's on the ground, but that is Grania Quinn. No, it's not Grania Quinn. That is Emma O'Byrne, the captain today, who reads it and bursts out with it. Now, Dublin haven't had a score after their brilliant start to the second half. They really need something now. They've gone short, and there's 2 or 3 defenders around there. I think it's the full forward, is it Kerry Finnegan? She's outnumbered, and the ball eventually gets cleared, and it's a free for Offaly. And Dublin just cannot get going up there, but they're about to bring on another substitute, and it's 25. Is that Leah
It is
Butler?
Leah Butler,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
Leah
yeah.
Butler wearing 25. She played last week against Kilkenny. Another from the St Jude's club. They want to get her into the play, and they want to get her in quick. They realise that a change needs to be made, and Butler is a player coming in, and she will replace Roisin Baker, the midfield. She's a workhorse, and she has put in a real shift out there today.
And Leah's a great runner, great engine on her, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of role she has. Unfortunately there for Laura Quinn, 2 balls have come into her. It just hasn't run for her, so hopefully the next time she'll get the ball in hand.
And here's danger again. It's Offaly on the attack, and there's a few times where there's been so much room up there for Offaly and they've profited from it, but on this occasion the Dublin defence have done really well, and it's Grania Quinn, the experienced centre half back, who does well and just fires it into the other half. Now, can Dublin get a break? Can they get the ball? It's Finnegan in there. The referee gives advantage. He lets it go. Emma Flanagan has a strike, but it's not going to reach, and the referee is going to bring it back. And they just need, as we said earlier, Sheila, composure, and maybe on that occasion the ball was just whacked. They just need to take their time on the ball.
I think so, and I think we might even be a little bit fortunate to have gotten that call back, because it seemed, for me, it seemed like a mountain of time went by. But I agree 100% with you there. I think that was a bit of a snapshot. I don't even think Flano connected very well with that.
Now it's number 12, Aisling Maher, just inside the Offaly half. There's no sun behind this one, but boy, she's got a good strike on that. Has it gone over? No, agonisingly just to the right. Aoife Walsh, the number 15 for Dublin, is about to come on. So Dublin ringing all the changes. They're trying everything, and it's another one from the St Jude's club. She made her debut last year. She's 15. She was to start the game. She didn't, but she's in the play now, and she has replaced Aoife Whelan, who has done really well on her debut. And Dublin actually looking at another change down below us. They're now looking at Aisling Carolyn, who is another experienced player. They'll want to use her experience in the closing stages of this game. So Dublin obviously reading the warning signs, and they realise they need to do something to give the team a lift, and that will give Dublin a lift, because Offaly have been blown up for overcarrying. It's so nicely balanced. 3-6 for Offaly, 1-12 to Dublin. 15 against 15. It's up for grabs. Grania Quinn has the ball, or rather she's standing over it, and she's looking to see where she can put it. And she goes down the right side of the attack, and Mara is down there. She looks the favourite to get it, and she does indeed get it. She read that well. She feeds it back, and it's a sub. I think that's Laura Quinn out there, is it? And she struck that one, and she struck it just to the right and wide.
I think it was Leah Butler perhaps.
You're right,
on that,
sorry,
on that
Butler,
occasion,
yeah.
But it was well worked. Again, it seemed we're slipping back into that period in the first half where we're not capitalising on the possession we have. So that's, the composure has slipped a little bit, and the wind has been taken out of the sails somewhat. But we'll see now what happens with this one.
Oh, brilliant catch there by Kate Kenny for Offaly, and she fires it towards the goals as well. But it's well read there. I think that's the number 5. Is it Emma O'Byrne? Has read that one really, really well. And that's good defending. Now they just need to keep the pressure on. Now Maher is there, but she hasn't got it, or has she got it? Yes, she's managed to get it. That's good work there by Aisling Maher, the number 12 for Dublin. She's had a really good game, and off she goes. Now what could she do with it? This is important. This pass is important. It's intercepted there. Laura Quinn goes for it, but just wasn't able to take it in her stride, and it's Offaly who come out with it. And look at the room in the middle of the field here for Kate Kenny. She's got loads of room. She gets it down into the corner forward area, and this is dangerous. This is Offaly on the attack, and this is Offaly level, but Offaly trying to get ahead. Will they sneak ahead? And yes, they are ahead in this game. They have recovered really well from the blitz at the start of the second half. Dublin now bringing on a substitute, and indeed, it is indeed Aisling Carolyn. What do you think she can bring them in there, Sheila?
Oh, well, definite leadership, and I suppose a lot of common sense. She'll bring clever play and composure for sure. That was very unfortunate there. Aisling Maher had worked so hard to win possession and then gave a fairly limp hand pass between two players. And Laura Quinn pretty much took it off Leah's hurl there, and the whole thing fell apart. So
Emma Flanagan has come off now for Dublin. Emma Flanagan replaced there, and they're lining up another sub. They're going to bring on Gabby Couch, a twin sister of Jodie Couch, in the last few minutes of this game in the forwards, and it'd be great for her if she could get a wee score here to level it. There's a throw ball, and it's a free for Dublin. It's all very frantic here at the moment. Hannah Hegarty with it, can't wait to get it up into the danger area, and that is spilled away from Leah Butler, and it's Offaly's Kate Kenny who's doing a lot of damage in the last few minutes. But look at the blue shirts around her, and they are trying to get it off her. They do get it off her, and the pressure on both sides here, and it's an Offaly decision right in front of us. We could see exactly what was going on there, and it is all 100 miles an hour. Aoife Whelan now coming into the play, wearing 13, but she didn't start the game. Or rather, that's Gabby Couch. She was number 13. She is number 13. Didn't start the game, but is now coming in, and she is replacing Kerry Finnegan. So fresh legs on for Dublin in the last few minutes, but time is running out, and it's Offaly. Oh, what a brilliant catch in there by Orla Maher. She's made a difference. There's a goal on here. Surely not a fourth goal for Dublin or for Offaly, and it is. 4 goals, an absolute killer blow there for the Dubs, because Offaly have broken. But what a catch by Maher, and a soft finish in the end, but it's a goal nonetheless. 4-7 for Offaly. Dublin 1-13, 4 in it.
It's very disappointing. Again, when we're taking the foot off the pedal, when we're missing a few chances, the ball's not going to hand. Offaly are certainly punishing, and they'd certainly have an eye for goal today. What a catch inside, great run. And in fairness, it was a really, really good finish. But Dublin are definitely going to be looking at how they've conceded 4 goals in this match when the backs have actually played quite well.
Kate Kenny has been outstanding in the last 5 minutes. She seems to get every ball, and she's over there again involved. So she's shown a bit of leadership over there, and that's good play as well by Sharon Shanahan. She's had a good game, and it's all Offaly. And they might even get another score here. Is that going to drop over? No, it's dropped for Faye McCarthy, and Faye has done well, and it's Dublin, and the referee is giving a free out there, and that'll hold the play up a little bit. Dublin will be, Offaly rather, will be quite happy with that. Faye will come out to take this. Dublin lining up another substitute, number 17, Anya Woods from St Vincent's.
Defender, so they might need some fresh legs in there perhaps.
I'm not sure if there's a limit on the number of subs. That seems about 5 that they've brought in, I'd say.
Seems like a lot.
Well, they're bringing off Murren Kelleher, who was doing the man-woman marking job on Kate Kenny, but they obviously feel in the last 5 minutes they've got to just go into attack mode here, and maybe they're just giving her, Anya, a woman marking job in there and say, well, you do it, because Kate Kenny's doing a lot of damage. So maybe Murren was tiring a little bit, but either way, the ball is being struck by Faye McCarthy, and it is dropping into the Offaly half, and Dublin need a little bit of inspiration, and here's the woman who will give it to them. That's Couch, and what an effort from Couch. And is it going to drop in? Is it going to drop into the net? No, just over the bar, it seems. Yeah, a point from Couch. That's brilliant.
Amazing. Great leadership from such a young one as well. Won the ball, shook off a couple of challenges and just drove it straight over, and that's the kind of leadership you need right now when our backs are to the wall.
Yeah, she seems a great wee player. She really does. She's had a super game, and it brings it back to a 3-point game, and that could be an important score, because here comes Laura Quinn now, and if Dublin can just manufacture a goal, all of a sudden they're back into this. They play it into the danger area, but it spills for Offaly, and there's a high challenge by Gabby Couch, and the referee is going to penalise that, and I think he's reaching for his card. And will we call that over exuberant?
Perhaps trying to make one's mark on the game a little bit, but
either way, it's a free for Offaly at an important time, and they get a chance to clear the ball. Now, what can Dublin do? They need to get it back up there as quickly as possible, but they need to show that composure we talked about. I think that's Maher all the way back, and fires it high and fires it long, and Gabby Couch is going for it again. She's easily identified there with the yellow helmet.
I don't really understand the mentality of that ball in. It was just an absolute hit and hope. There was nobody in there. I don't know, did Ash even have a look there? But
But hold on, Hannah Hegarty has snatched this ball and she's got it in now towards Couch, and Couch has got it this time, and you know she's got goal on her mind. She's trying to burst through. She does burst through. She's going for goal. That's what they need at this point, and she's certainly causing a lot of trouble in there. And if Dublin can just manufacture something in here, there's a goal in it in the closing stages. They need to get a break in there, but I don't think they're going to get it because Offaly are standing firm. It's a very tense time in the game, but Offaly come away with it. And Dublin just can't find the room in there, but this is good defending from Offaly. But hold on, Hannah Hegarty again for Dublin, and that's a nice ball into the danger area there for Maher, and Maher fires it, and has she got it over the bar? She has, and that's got it back to a 2-point game. The Dubs are not finished yet.
Important score and great composure then from Hannah. Perhaps she felt it was a bit far out for herself, gave it to Aisling, who has been quite accurate today. So it was clever play there from Hannah Hegarty, but again in the right place, the right time. Like, she's just such a fantastic asset to have there in the half back line.
Number 18 for Offaly is coming on. That is Helen Dolan, and I think they're bringing off their number 12. They're trying to get the message to her, Gráinne Dolan, and now Gráinne is making her way off. 114 to 4-7. Offaly 19, Dublin 17. 2 points in it at O'Toole Park here in Dublin, and the ball breaking over on that far side, and it's Offaly who get it at a very important time in the game, and they fire it straight into the forward area, but it's broken down, and there's room here for Dublin. They can break. It's their centre half forward. It's Jodie Couch. She gets it up to her sister Gabby Couch. Now it's broken. Oh, and that's good work by Offaly though to clear the ball. They clear the danger and they get it up to Emma Mulrooney, and Emma fires it into the corner, and Dublin will be anxious to get the ball back up the pitch, but it's a long way from the goals. That's good defending though, and good play from Dublin. Oh, and Hegarty didn't get a connection on that. It's easily intercepted by Kerwin, and it's a free for Offaly. And just at the moment when you needed a good connection, it just deserted them on that occasion, and it's relief for Offaly.
It's very uncharacteristic. I don't know, did her foot hit a hole there or something? I don't know, did you see him off balance on that one? But very angry with herself, so her body language reaction there tells us a lot.
4-7 to 114, and that looks like going to the right. Yeah, that's gone wide. Stays a 2-point game in the closing stages, and Faye McCarthy very quick to get the ball back into play. Dublin, as I say, anxious to get up the field. Gráinne Quinn there, and she's been held up though. I think she was looking to maybe get a free, or hoping to get a free. She didn't get it, but she does get the ball up the field. It's gone over the sideline on the far side. Maher not able to get it, and Dublin just not really able to string too much together at this important time in the game, and they look a little bit disorganised and a little bit dishevelled, and nobody, for example, up in the forwards area here at all. And as Sheila was saying, at times they're just hitting and hoping. And there is the full-time whistle. It's ended in frustration for Dublin, delight for Offaly, and all the good effort that Dublin put in there means in the end that they don't get any points. But a very encouraging performance in many ways, but so disappointing at the end, Sheila.
Really, really bitterly disappointing. I mean, there's a lot of positives to take from it, but it's very hard to see that right now with the players coming off the pitch. Even to think about it, it's definitely one that got away from them. A lot to be learned from it, but some seriously really, really, really good stuff there. Really, really hard work rate, the hunger they showed, the blocking, it's just at times, even there late on in the game when Jodie gave the ball into Gabby, and it bounced up too high off the hurl. Just little things like that, and Dublin could be a serious contender there if they just got the touch right, and if they eradicated the silly ball in, just the hit and hope, and I'm just going to hit it and hope that somebody's in there. But at the same time, I've been harping on about it for years. We often do that. There's often no one within a hair's whisker of the goalkeeper, and I'm a firm believer. I don't care how it goes into the goal, if it goes in. So if you're hanging around the goalkeeper, anything can happen, and I just don't think Dublin do enough of that. We don't have a kind of a poacher instinct.
They got the first 3 points of the second half. They got a goal, and for a while it looked fantastic, and they dared to dream. But what happened?
It shows, in fairness to Offaly, their resilience and their composure, and it didn't rattle them at all. I mean, they actually just stood up and were like, hold on, what's happened? Let's actually play the way we can play, and they did, and they punished Dublin with a further 3 goals, and they're sucker punches when you're working so hard and you're picking off your points, which is what you're told to do. Keep picking the goals that come. But Offaly are just ruthless up there, and we could actually probably learn a little bit from them. Their high catching in there was impeccable, very hard to defend against that, and then their finishing, I mean, what more can be said? So I think it's more about the way Offaly reacted than Dublin kind of changing what they were doing or anything. But you could see their decision making, they probably fatigued a little bit. Their decision making kind of slid, and a couple of times there they were waiting for a free that never came, and you just can't do that. You just have to play the whistle.
We'll finish off with your player of the match, and first of all, if you can give us a few contenders, maybe.
Well, definitely for me, Hannah Hegarty was brilliant there in the back line. Up front, you had the likes of Aisling Marr and Niamh Gannon came into it, scored a couple of great points. But for me today, the work rate, the hunger from Jodie Couch was just phenomenal. She was winning balls back from Offaly, she was breaking down Offaly attacks. She got an amazing score there at the end when Dublin really needed it, gave us a bit of a lift. And I just thought today she really deserves it, and for such a young one to come in at such an important place of centre forward, she shone for me today.
And for Offaly, obviously they go forward to play Kilkenny next week. That'll be obviously a tough one for them, but they'll take a lot of encouragement from that. And they had a lot of good performers as well, and they got their goals. Kate Kenny came into it towards the end in a big way, and Sharon Shanahan played very well as well, and Kerwin, the captain, showed leadership too.
They did too, and I thought Amy Byrne there was very good. She came into the game there when Dublin had been on top for a while and got a good couple of clearances out. But I suppose the damage I feel was done there in the full forward line, and I thought the catching was unreal. So I mean, you could pick any of them really, but I'm gonna go with Siobhan Flannery because she was a threat the whole time. I think it was 15 anyway. I'm terrible.
That's okay.
I do apologise.
No, don't apologise at all. It's been great to have you with us, and thanks very much for that today. Sheila Cotter was with us on commentary here from O'Toole Park. A very enjoyable game to watch if you're in neutral, and I don't know we weren't too neutral. We were with Dublin Camogie today, and it's disappointing for them, but a lot of positive stuff out there as well. They can take a lot of that into the future, but overall for the game of Camogie today it was a great spectacle, wasn't it? It was a super game. I hope people enjoyed it. Great
scores from all over the place. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't just your classic Camogie score, and really positive that there were so many scores from play from Dublin today after we discussed the 2 points from play last week. I mean, they're bitterly disappointed, as I expect them to be, but it's going in the right direction. Their work rate, their hunger, their unity, it's really has improved, and I hope they can pick themselves up again very shortly. It'll be very interesting to see how Offaly do against Kilkenny next week. Both teams having a game under their belt, and I agree with you. I think today is really going to stand with Offaly because they were really pinned back there for a good period, but they were able to respond, so that's going to give them great confidence. You know, if Kilkenny were to get the early couple of scores on them or get a run on them, Offaly have that belief now that they can come back into it. Absolutely. Okay, Sheila, thank you very much. So that's it from O'Toole Park. It's a victory in the Littlewoods Division 1 League for Offaly here in Dublin. It's been a great game. It's been great to bring it to you. I hope you enjoyed it, but for now, from us, it's goodbye. Slán.